Good afternoon, ma'am.
So today we will be discussing a case study. So this case study is of ABC Limited. So ABC Limited is calculating their operating leverage to identify how their profit is increasing or else decreasing to the change of its sales. So already we have discussed what is operating leverage. I have asked you people to memorize the EBIT for it, right? So when a sales increases by 10%, how much does my EBIT increases or decreases? This is the calculation of operating leverage. So this team will be explaining you how ABC Limited will be calculating their operating leverage and what are those characteristic significance, and they will be concluding with an interpretation for the company as a case study. So let us see. So good afternoon everyone. Firstly we will have a class introduction about what is operating leverage. So as we all know that there are three important types of leverages. Talking in terms of financial management, we have operating leverage, financial leverage and combined leverage. In this case study we will be discussing about the operating leverage. Here at the end of this case study, one will help to understand or one will get to know about what is operating leverage, what here we will specifically talking about the ABC Limited, what would be the advantages of ABC Limited when they use operating leverage, what would be the disadvantages which this EBIT or contribution or the operating leverage does not cover up, and we will arrive to the conclusion. So firstly let's have an idea about what is meant by operating leverage. So whenever we start to do a business or engage in some kind of activities, the first and foremost thing that a business or a firm requires is the capital or the amount that has to be invested. Without capital, there cannot be any workflow taking place in the businesses or the firms, and the capital that has to be obtained in such a manner that the firm or the business does not suffer from lag back or surplus or deficit at any point of time. So this operating leverage or degree of operating leverage helps a firm or a business, especially in this case study, it helps ABC Limited with the following. So firstly, it tells how much the capital has to be obtained, and after the sales or after the contribution or what would be the changes that EBIT will be taking place due to the price changes. So apart from that, what happens sometimes due to like inefficiency of data or inefficiency of numericals, sometimes what happens the business or the firm may not get the derived data. So in this case we will also discuss about the demerits, merits and what would be the significance, and in this case study we will also help you to understand what is operating leverage with the example sum. So now we have members talking about the merits, demerits and significance.
So as per the given information, we should calculate the operating leverage. First, sales equal to 6 lakh and fixed cost equal to 40,000 and variable cost equal to 20,000. So operating leverage formula equal to contribution divided by EBIT. Contribution formula equal to sales minus variable cost, and EBIT equal to contribution minus fixed cost. First, we should calculate the sales minus variable cost. For the contribution, this is the formula. Sales equal to 6 lakh minus fixed cost 40,000 equal to 5,60,000, and EBIT equal to 5,60,000 contribution and minus 20,000 equal to variable cost. 5,60,000 minus 20,000 equal to 5,40,000. This is EBIT. And operating leverage equal to 5,60,000 contribution and divided by 5,40,000 equal to EBIT. This is by dividing from this we should get the 1.03.
And there are two types of operating leverage. One is high operating leverage and low operating leverage. When operating leverage increases, the business also have high risk. There are still some advantages in high operating leverage. When sales expand too much and the profit also increases constantly, and cost will be used effectively in this operation, and it is suitable for large scale operations.
There will be also disadvantages for this operating leverages. First one is fixed cost must be paid even in the losses. Then high risks in dealing sales dealings. Third one is dangers in economic slowdown.
Let's now divide the operating leverage into two important phases. One goes with the positive phase, and secondly we will talk about the negative phase. And talking about the positive phase, as we know that operating leverage but of the negative role. The second most important positive thing is that once when a business knows about their financial position, it will help them to work towards their goal. So once if a company knows that they are not potentially doing enough, so this is not must, or if they are lagging back than the other companies, operating leverage will help them, will guide them, providing all the necessary details regarding how to proceed further. But on the contrary, when we look up to the negative side, here we can see that operating leverage, if the company does not have any complete idea about the financial management, operating leverage can push the company entirely to the down position. So whenever the business is, especially here discussing about ABC Limited, the company has to be keen enough, it has to have substantial knowledge regarding how the things have to be carried out, from where the capital has to be put up, so that the business does not suffer from the land back. So once when we start to conclude, what happens talking about the negative phase and positive phase. Whatever we talk about or talking about any financial terms or operating leverage, financial leverage or any combined leverage, the first and foremost thing that one has to understand is every term contains some kind of positive and negative. So it is the ultimate and sole responsibility of the business, especially the ABC Limited, to follow the operating leverage in a combined and a systematic manner, so that the firm does not suffer from any deficit or surplus at any point of time. And we all know that especially the financial terms in businesses is very crucially very complex and complicated terms. So understanding all these financial terms, especially the degree of operating leverage and all, if the businesses have a substantial knowledge regarding how is to be done, when is to be done, and what are the other processes that has to be carried out, the EBIT changes due to the price changes will be reflecting in a positive manner. At times we can conclude that not every time the business may go on a profit or every time it may go on a loss. So it is like a very zigzag manner where sometimes profit may take place and sometimes negative may also take place. But one has to get a serious knowledge about the financial terms, so that the businesses don't suffer from any kind of lag-backs and there is smooth functioning. In this case, in today's case study, we will conclude it telling that operating leverage works as a wonderful tool and a powerful tool for every business. It is the sole responsibility of the business to understand the financial terms and proceed further. Thank you. So that was a very good presentation. See, that was a very good presentation on operating leverage, clear cut explanation on the formula and interpretation.